Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you another rant kind of video, proposition, proposals, I don't know. A lot of people, since the Tyranids Codex has come out, have wondered how to make Assimilation Swarm better. And I have kind of defended it for a long time. And that's not to say that I'm going to finally crack here and be like, oh my gosh, it is just total garbage. I think it's savable, and I don't think it's as bad as people think. Is it the worst out of our detachments and Tyranids? Now that Crusher's better? Yeah. Yeah. I yeah, no, that it is. It is. Um so I'm hoping today talking about Assimilation Swarm and what I think could fix it. Either GW hears because I'm telling you, I was so stoked that I called some of those changes when they rolled out, like the Pariah Nexus data balance slate for the balance data slate for the Tyranid like upgrades. So hopefully, talking about Assimilation Swarm, it reaches somebody's ears on how to fix it. And two, last time I talked about a detachment, which was Synaptic Nexus, like a week or so ago, I was like, hey, if it can work, it can work. But like, why? And can it work without relying on Norns? Now, thankfully, somebody did, and who else besides Sam Pope will then go on to win a tournament with Synaptic Nexus, but still use Norn. So a bittersweet result on that end. Like I'm just waiting for somebody to take it all the way without Norns. So, and that's not to say that I don't like the Norns or the Synaptic Nexus. In fact, I love both of them quite dearly. The Norn Emissary is why I started playing Warhammer this year. So, yeah, that's that. But back to Assimilation Swarm. I have some ideas on why it no work. And I think I have ideas on how make it work. Um, a lot of it is pretty simple because what happens, quite frankly, with Assimilation Swarm is that you are now wondering why am I not just playing Necrons, right? Now, mind you, a lot of our stuff you just wonder why you're not playing Necrons, but Necrons can just regenerate their command phase across the board. They don't need to stand on objective. They don't need to hold that objective. None of that. They just get to regenerate. So for the Tyranid equivalent of it's just like well throw bodies, get bodies. There needs to be some massive changes, and I shouldn't say massive, but I would like these changes into which I think you have to make it different enough that people want to use it. That's the main thing with all of the Tyranid detachments. You start making a list and then you go, I could just play Invasion Fleet. So, starting off with that, let's talk about something they can change that would be better than Invasion Fleet. Right now, you can, in the command phase, within 6 inches of objective you control with a harvester unit on it, you can regen 3 endless multitude models once per phase. How about instead of just three, just make that D3 plus three? Make it compete with Invasion Fleet so that at least now I don't need to spend a CP on it. And even here, you can target up to two. For one CP, you can regenerate upwards to 12 models. Right? There's 3 plus 3, 6 times 2. Yeah, okay. For a second, I just had to make sure I didn't look stupid on the internet. Now, I've done that plenty of times, but maybe not right now when it's basic math. Like, you can regenerate up to 12 models for 1 CP in Invasion Fleet. Why not just make it so that it's D3 plus 3 without the CP, and that's the trade off? Or, here's the other thing that I think would make Assimilation Swarm much better it's too restricted. Make it so that it's not locked to once per phase. How about just you can target a unit as much as you fucking want if you have the harvesters in range of it and the objective that they need to control, and you can just regenerate one model D3 each time, or a unit D3 plus 3 each time. That's what I would like to see. But on the complete other end of what I thought would be good for this is that if you just make it so that you regenerate everything in a radius around these harvesters. If you're going to make us stay in a radius, how about we capitalize off of that radius? So, if you have higher specs on one of the objectives, and you have like a Hormagaunt uh, unit that's close by, and uh, Termagants and Tervagon, how about when you trigger that heal in your command phase, all three of those units get to heal in their respective way. Turvy would go up to D3, and the Termagants and the Hormagaunts would go up to 3. How about we do that? Make it a range and make us actually have something for this aura. When you're doing Synapse, it's everybody is covered in those 6 inches of that synapse. Same like with the psychophage, who is a harvester who you have in here. Everybody within those 6 inches of that aura has a 6-up feel no pain. You don't have to pick one unit to get that benefit. How about you just make it so that it's an aura, so when you trigger that heal, people are around, and that way it isn't still this like massive, oh no, that's busted. That's insane, because you still have to hold the objective and you still have to be within 6. And that's the other thing that a lot of people have an issue with is the range. It can stand to go up to 9 inches without biophagic flow. I think biophagic flow shouldn't even read within 9 of it. Just add 3 inches. So that way if there was some other way so that this was no longer 6, if they, or like we have in Synaptic Nexus, bam. Instead of giving me something where I can make the range 9 inches for a stratagem, one of these stratagems should read, hey, you should be able to expand the radius to which you can heal another, or up to 9 inches or 3 inches, something like that. I'd probably argue Tyranniformed, because if we're being honest, stickying an objective, but you want to have your harvester on the objective is kind of redundant. Like, that's pretty fucking dumb. You don't you need them on there. You need them within range to regenerate. So that means if they're on it and it's sticky, like, why are you sticking an objective with the harvester unit? I could understand if you took this away and you made it so that one of your Tyranids units was just able to sticky it. I'd take that for a CP, but not if it's a harvester. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't. There's no point for that. So those are a quick of the few things that I think need to be fixed for it to be better. And while we're looking at here, and I just talked about biophagic flow, let's talk about another enhancement that if you're not going to fix it, change the fucking name. Regenerating monstrosity, excluding monsters. This irks me to no end. This is so dumb. Why you had infinite amount of words to say what you wanted to call this enhancement, to then make it so that monsters can't have this enhancement called regenerating monstrosity. That's so fucking dumb. That's so dumb to me. So those are like the majorest of ones that need to be fixed, in my opinion. Or I shouldn't say need to be fixed. That really should be fixed to make this detachment work. And not all of them at once, just one or the other, because I'll admit that would make it a little bit busted. I think if you either make it so that a harvester can regenerate all units within 6 of it, or 9. And I'll take the 9 too. A command phase, or make it so that every unit can be regenerated as many times per harvesters you have. If you have fucking 3 psychophages and you want to use all of their heals to bring one Maleceptor all the way back up to full health, fuck it, you should be able to do that. I feel like that's a fair trade-off, because then that makes it so that your opponent has to know target prio. They usually, everybody like, all right, I have to kill the Maleceptor, and if they can kill it in one round, they're going to kill it in one round. But they know that they can't leave it alive like you do with Necrons. You know that you have to get rid of the whole unit so that they do not do anything. You have to clear the whole unit. You have to dedicate all your fire into one unit at a time. Do not try to split fire normally. So that's the big takeaways. Now the things that would help lie a little bit down here and over to data sheets too. First off, I shouldn't say first off, but next, Ablative Carapace. Why am I paying 2 CP to make a Harvester unit have a 5-up field no pain, and a 4-up if they're on an objective I control? That's not 2 CP worthy, because it only relies on these 4. I'm not putting it on a Ripper Swarm. I'm not putting it on Pyrovores. A Psychophage already has a 5-up field no pain, so I'm not spending 2 CP to make that slightly better. And a Haruspex, maybe. That's the only one that's a maybe. I'm not paying 2 CP for a fucking maybe. Now, to that end, people are very hard on the Haruspex and saying that, oh my goodness, it's not that good, it just gets shot. For 125 points and like quite a few attacks, and 4 of those being heavy hitters with a precision tongue, Haruspex is actually pretty decent for the points. I can't say that it needs to go down or up in points. It's perfectly fine where it is, especially when you can give it lethal hits in this detachment on 5s. I think that's perfectly fine where that is. But this is not a 2 CP worthy stratagem. It's not. It needs to be a 1. It needs to be a 1. And then, speaking about the Psychophage, I do like it. I do like it. And I can only imagine. I can't even say that it needs more points to go down, because it's actually it's fine at 95. If you make this 85 or 90 or even 80, I guess this detachment gets better. And I guess they see more play at that point. Oh, sorry. Synaptic. I guess they see more play at that point. But I can't in full conscience say that that's what is needed of them. So that brings me to the other point of what. Well, actually, before I get to that point, I'll say the other unit that's already here that does need to go down in points. Ripper Swarms. Ripper Swarms should not be 25 entry when they were 20. I don't know what that call was to make it 25, 40, 50. Now, sure, this is cute, but there's 0 OC. And then I saw some dipshit ass takes, and I can't remember who it was, but that was fucking stupid. Where it was just like, yeah, Ripper Swarms aren't useless anymore. You could use them to screen them out. For what? For what? I'm bringing a fucking a 40 millimeter base of Ripper Swarms at 25 to 50 for 3 to screen out? If I'm paying 50 points for a screen, guess what I'm bringing? I'm bringing fucking Neurogons for 45 and 90 if I want super protection. Or I'm just bringing the Pyrovores. Like, hello? I'm not bringing the fuck. I'm not waste. What the fuck are we? Are we Chaos Knights and hoping for Nurglings? Like, no. We have tiny bodies that can just be there and get hit. Or even better, I might just make it a fucking Termagant squad and possibly shoot back. Like, I'm not. That was so stupid. If you all know who that was, probably don't say their name, but that was the stupidest thing that I heard when the drops came around and changed. It was just like, don't worry, Rippers aren't so bad. No, you still will bring them when you have 25 point spares. No, the fuck I won't. And that's the other thing. It's such a weird point. I might have 20 to spare. 25 to spare, I very rarely have left. Usually I'll have something like 15 to 20, and that's where these should be if they're going to be 0 C. I'm not putting in one Ripper Swarm for 25 for maybe one turn of Deep Strike when I could just find another 25 and put a Pyrovore. Like that, just not doing it. I'm not doing it. I very rarely have 25, and that's while we're here on price points of them. 25 and 35, they're terrible point parts. I shouldn't say terrible. That's too harsh on the Pyrovores because it is good for 35 points. It is good for 35 points. I'm not even gonna like lie there or whatever. But it'd be better. It's easier to fit if they were 30 and 20. Like no duh, Mister. It'd be easier to fit if they were cheaper. Yeah, but like truly look at your list and think about what you had. 35 points left over and 25 points left over. Not, oh, I have 40 left over, so I could take a Pyrovore, and then I have like 5 left. And not, oh, I have 30 left over, so that's not enough for a Pyrovore, so I guess I'll take a Ripper Swarm. Like, truly tell me when you had that issue that often. Now, I'm happy to be proven wrong, but frankly, I don't have that issue too often. Pyrovore, I do definitely find myself out of like a 1965 a little bit more often than I do find myself at 25 points and going, all right, I guess I'll toss in a Ripper Swarm that now can't do actions, you know? So, I'd like if those came down too, but that's. So then we go to the conversation that a lot of people love, and I think a lot of people were probably expecting when they click on how to make Assimilation Swarm better. Everybody's first suggestion is it needs more units with the keyword. I agree to disagree. Genuinely thinking about it for a little bit, you don't. You don't. Because if you tell me, yeah, it'd be nice if, I'm sorry if you all can hear the sirens and whatnot in my background, just Chicago things. Um, if there was a situation in which the Venom Thropes and the Toxicron did end up getting the Harvester keyword that everybody keeps throwing out for them, you're still not bringing the fucking Toxicron. Not for 150 points. Maybe, maybe, maybe if it gets cut down to like 120. No. I can't say 120 because then you're competing with the horror specs and you're still just bringing the horror specs then. It has to be something egregious like 100. Maybe 110. But it has to be super low for you to want to bring this. Yeah, it's T11. 3 up save, 14 wounds. And it can actually, I know everybody goes, it can't clear infantry as well as it says it can. I disagree. I feel like some of those stat sheets aren't necessarily so kind because what you have to remember is that there's some just infantry that you're just not hitting with your T7 attack from the horror specs that you would just like to wound on twos. Like Illuminer Ceres that I see a lot of people having an issue with. Like something like that, where it's just, or gas. Now, mind you, are those the hardest things in the world to take down? No, they're not, but they're still something that are infantry and a little bit thicker that I would like to just wound on twos. I would like to wound them on twos. And if you give the Toxicrin Harvester and it just makes it so that you can then lethals on fives, again, I'm just going to close this out because I keep doing this. Lethals on 5s, that'd be amazing. That'd be fantastic. For 12 attacks, lethals on 5s, then you can actually scrap with fucking some of the T11 vehicles or monsters it might run into. But again, you still have to drop this down points. It has to be like 100 for what you're getting out of this package. You are getting a stat block for 100. So I don't think that more need the keyword. I think the things that have the keyword already are fine, but you need to give them more things. Go into the Venom Thropes again. Venom Thropes are fine. You're not bringing Venom Thropes. You're not bringing them now because nobody's playing like an Unending Swarm anymore, unfortunately. That got friggin' nuked. So you're not bringing that. You're very rarely bringing Venom Thropes. And for 70 points, if you did give them the Harvester keyword, guess what I'd rather bring for 70 points? That has a ranged attack. But I'm bringing Pyrovores. I could just spam Pyrovores if I'm going to do 70 points for one unit. I could bring 2 units of Pyrovores. And instead of giving myself cover, I could strip somebody else's cover. And this is where I like Pyrovores on top of that. Like, I think Assimilation Swarm would also do better if people actually leaned a bit more into spamming the units. Like, we're seeing a lot of Horde lists that aren't Horde. Like, they killed our Unending Swarm and they slapped Guard in the face and Kroot and then said, yeah, but 100 Black Templars are fine. Because how do you stop that? You can't. There's not, you can't, they don't get any extra benefit. But, like, shit like that. There are just, you're just better off bringing a fuck ton of one model profile or Chaos Cult. You see 40k dirtbags just beating ass with that, and and nobody's bringing it besides him apparently because I guess nobody wants to move that many models. But I don't know. I mean, Green Tide and Unending Swarm had to get slapped on the wrist, but Chaos Cult and I guess the new Black Templar list that isn't even like it doesn't have a detachment. It's just Black Templars are just doing okay with that. So hey, but to that extent, I'd say that if you bring 3 models with a D6 plus 1 611 flamer for 105 points, and they can regenerate each other with 5 wounds each, I think they're actually a little bit better than we're giving them credit. The 5-inch move does hurt, but they're still T6, 3 up save, 5 wounds. That's better than our warrior profile. And it's a torrent, twin linked, ignores cover. If you bring 3 of these bad boys, that's at least 6 shots. Auto wounding, ignoring cover, twin linked. Sorry, auto hitting, not auto wounding. I think I said auto wounding by accident. But yeah, I think that is the folly of us Tyranid players, that we do need to be bringing more of the Pyrovores and the Psychophages. People go, oh, but it's just buffing the meh units. You're bringing those units anyway. I know people are just now understanding that the Psychophage is actually decent at its new price point now. Like, I know we all saw it when it got cut the first time. We're like, maybe I might bring 1 or 2 now. But it's actually pretty decent. Now, I'm not even trying to sell you on the whole Distraction Carnifex thing, but for just a 95 point lovable bug that's T9, 10 wounds, can do actions, 5 upfield, no pain, give up a 6-inch aura of 6 upfield, no pain, decent melee because of this fucking ability, and an okay flamer. So that means that even while it's not doing something because it's doing an action, it's doing something because of its aura. Psychophage is actually pretty okay. And again, if it goes down in points further, that'd be fine. I wouldn't imagine they would do that, but hey, that'd be okay. So I think I think if we have some of that trajectory, it'd be better. It'd be better off. Would I like more units to have the keyword? Sure. But you're not bringing them then. You're barely bringing them now. And it's not really because of points either. It's just, why do I bring 2 Exocrine, 2 Mallet Scepter, 2 Haruspex, and then hope for the best in every other list? No, it's because the rest of our units are just very or bad. They're just very or bad. And that's a couple of codexes right now, but you know, I'm okay with the state of things. But if we want Assimilation Swarm to be better, that's the direction that I think it needs to go. I think you need to make this just D3 plus 3. These endless multitude units aren't hurting anybody. Now, it could be kind of nutty that you can just each time make a Termagant unit with a Tervigon go from 1 to 10. That'd be cool, but like, that's a lot of eggs in one basket, and we've seen that we can do it in an ending form, but wait, you took away the reinforcements thing, so eh. And then that's the other thing about what models work in this. I think people get confused on what models to put here, but also not. Clearly, you want to put infantry as the best option. And if you can, wounds that have 3 and up. Unfortunately, Gene Stealers are 2 wounds each, Barb Gaunts are 2 wounds each. You're probably not wasting the once per phase regen on them that way, but that's why I say it's just like, if I can make it so that I can regen a unit, either my harvester regens in the aura or it regens, each unit can be regenerated more than once per phase, just like straight up put this everywhere. Put that everywhere. And then if you put this everywhere, make this, what did I wrote down like what this could be if you do it that way. I think I was thinking put it like D6. Yeah, put it, instead of a D3, make it a D6 or a D6 plus 3 if you attach it and you go through with those changes. That's what I would like to see, because this is fine. This is great. Now, I'll even do it better. I'll just be kind. This is great. This is essential, kind of. This is great. This is okay. Actually, it's kind of bad. I take that back. For 20, it's bad. But you can make it okay with that suggestion. And now I'm just waiting for this video to go up and somebody to come out of nowhere and be like, I won with Assimilation Swarm. Everybody can suck it. And that'll be fine. Please show us all the way of how to do it. If me putting this video out here gives Maelstrom Gaming or Maelstrom Gaming, I know they say it in a way that my brain always confuses how they say it. But you know, they like Assimilation Swarm Tyranids. They're a Tyranids channel. I've been learning a lot from them, like since I've come into the hobby. So thanks for that. Hopefully this doesn't backfire, because I try to not to say other people's names too much, because you don't know what other people are doing. But seems like a chill guy, and I've learned a lot through me learning Tyranids through that channel. So go check out Maelstrom Gaming, and hopefully this will make him win a super major. Me putting this video out here, because if I guess it worked for Sam Pope. But that expert just like, yeah, fuck you. I can show you what Synaptic Nexus can do. So I don't know. Another idea that, while I was trying to make a list for this, is that maybe it needs to be more wound intensive, and that's the other thing. Like, I want, I would like it if you could do this more frequently. I think if you see, that's the downside, right? This is a very good stratagem here. That is just like, if I could just throw Ripper Swarms that you either get rid of, like, that's the whole thing here. You either get rid of us so that we stop healing, or I make it so that you +1 to wound. Like, that's the trade off there. You stop our healing, but now you're +1 to wound. I was thinking maybe you lean into this more. You throw in some Neurolictors, throw in a bunch of Ripper Swarms, like shit that can just get shot, and maybe some Psychophages. Just make a whole bunch of the board +1 to wound against and shoot shit off. I don't know. Maybe somebody could try that. I haven't. That's just my current theory. It's not even current theory craft. I went a different direction, but that's a theory craft idea for anybody that's willing to try it. So yeah, that's. Let me stop there before I go on and start talking. See, that's where I gotta stop talking further in circles. But all in all, assimilation swarm. A lot of people feels like it puts the ass or the ass is in assimilation swarm, like uppercase, capitalized, bold, highlighted. I don't think it's that bad, but it definitely could be better. So yeah, tell me what you think about assimilation swarm and what you think truly would make it work. I challenge you, if you're going to say just add more units with the keyword, ask yourself if you're going to actually use those fucking units in this. I know that sounds more annoyed than I try to be, but like, I get it. The keywords are lacking. That's been a problem with several codexes all edition. I don't know what GW was thinking when they were like, let's make some things focus on keywords and then never give anything the keyword. The Triarch? Why would we give him the Triarch keyword? Oh, we got these units with knobs and everything, but why would we give them the knobs keyword? Like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. But, hey, keywords aside, if you can think of a unit that can go into this and you're actually going to take because it has Harvester, even I'll give you a pass for saying fuck the lore at this point. The assimilator should not have it. I'm sorry. I get that it's assimilation swarm, but the assimilator, I get he if anything, his name should be changed versus this one because like, yeah, but like it doesn't say the Norn harvester. It says assimilator. But yeah, think of a unit if that's what you were going with. If not, tell me what your other ideas for assimilation swarm betterment could be. Hopefully GW sees this video somehow, some way. I don't know. Somebody share it with people that you know can talk to GW about this one. And yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment from me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.